You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in studio in sunny Scottsdale, joined by Randy the Angston.
Oh, man. I was like, where's he going? Where's he going?
No nicknames.
We're done.
Makes
We're
it
good.
weird now. So.
It is a little awkward.
So we got an interesting episode, something you wanted to talk about, which is actually pretty cool. It's nothing to do with necessarily fitness, the fitness business, but it's about opportunity and nothing to really talk about in regards to our workshop because that's starting today, the day of this podcast coming out, the CLA workshop's coming out. So if you missed it, you missed it. Sorry. But this episode, we're going to talk about a couple things that we're doing personally, but also things that, gym owners need to start thinking about when, I guess, chaos is around us and there's opportunities that present themselves and, to take advantage of those things. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and it really stemmed from, like our conversation lately about the things that we're doing outside of just the day-to-day, helping gym owners win, right? We talk stocks every day. We talk what the market's doing, what the industries are doing, where we're keeping our eye, on what heartbeat we're paying attention to type of thing.
Sure.
And this isn't about, taking advantage of a situation as much as it is understanding that, during a pandemic or during times of turbulence or whatever it may be, the way that you look, the lens that you look through dictates a lot of the success that you're going to see. And we work with a lot of gym owners, some on our team as far as clients of ours that we're working with to make progression and make changes throughout this opportunity. But at the same time, we still hear the chatter of, oh, I'm handcuffed. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, I'm still shut down. And it's almost the woe's me mentality. And I think that a lot of life is dictated by the lens that you look through it, or look at it with. And so that's kind of what stemmed the idea of this conversation, because there's a number of things that we are doing, our clients are doing, people that we know are doing to elevate themselves or their business or their brand or whatever it may be at a time where everybody else is just sitting here focused on the negativity. And
good point.
It's amazing to me that somebody can just sit there 3 months down the road
and not take any action or do
nothing.
Anything. Yeah.
I mean, literally nothing.
So the facts are many gyms are still closed.
Absolutely.
That is technically a handcuff on your operation. So there's that situation going on, but then there's all these other opportunities that are happening. And forever, I would kind of call myself as an opportunist. However, that's got a very bad connotation.
Sure.
But when I say opportunist, I'm seeing that, there's an opportunity to elevate or opportunity to grow the business or make more money or do something that's outside of the box that I'm usually sitting in. I take the opportunity.
Yes.
And if you want to call that an opportunist, that's how I'm describing it. Some people say they're taking the opportunity in a negative way. Whatever. That's the term that
those are the people that don't take opportunity when it slaps them in the face. You know what I mean?
Right. So an opportunist is in my opinion, it's somebody that sees an opportunity, sees and is willing to take a risk, because there is risk in everything that we do, but the opportunity is there only for a certain amount of time.
Absolutely.
And so right now, with COVID and now these riots and all this stuff, there's some crazy opportunities that are presenting themselves to us, and we're having fun with it, actually. First and foremost, the stock market. The stock market is going crazy in good and bad ways. So when everything got shut down, right around, I think the bottom of the market was right around St. Patrick's Day. It was March 17th. If you look at any of the stocks and you look at the trend lines, they're all bottomed out around March 17th. If you, and again, timing stock markets isn't something that, you can just look in a crystal ball and what's going to happen, but that just happens to be hindsight. That was the bottom. If you were to have purchased some stocks in certain areas at that point, you would, depending on how much you invested, you could have made 2,000, 3,000% of what you invested.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild stuff. So some of the stuff that we've been talking about is when the pandemic was happening, if you look at some of the gun stocks, Taser, Smith & Wesson, there's several I've been looking at. They've grown about 40% We feel like that's kind of at the top of where it's going to be. It may grow a little bit more, but you should. By the way, let me preface all this. You should consult the stock financial investor. But we both said, okay, what in our worlds does make sense? Like, people are at home. Zoom was like something we didn't like. We should have seen it, but we were kind of too close to the problem. We were shutting the gym down, and like, if you got in on Zoom, and again, this is something you're using every day, and this is sometimes how you find out which stocks are like. Look at your own life. Look at the trends of what's happening in your own life. A new iPhone's coming out. Apple's going to go berserk, right? So when the shutdown happened and everybody's switching to online, if you jumped in on Zoom, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's exploded.
Yep.
And just having some money working for you in play, that kind of talks about our cash flow quadrant. You're living down in this investor quadrant.
Absolutely.
And I've shifted a lot of money in there, and we've made a lot of money doing just things that are very logical.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, we're not playing the day trading game. We're not, throwing a bunch of money in something, taking that real high risk situation.
Yep.
Some of these are strategic. When we look at the pandemic as a whole, certain industries are shut down. Okay, those entire industries, every organization within those industries are negatively impacted.
Boom.
Their stocks are affected. Okay, buy low, sell high. So when they're at the bottom, or they're literally.
But pause that. When those drop down, other ones have bigger opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like Zoom, for example.
Yep.
So knowing that, how do you how do you take the opportunity? Because that's what this whole podcast is about, is opportunity. How do you take the opportunity to say, okay, look, Las Vegas is getting ready to open again. What do the casino stocks look like? And we jumped hard into MGM and
Caesars is doing really well. Yeah,
and we've done really well versus just having that money sitting in a savings account, not doing anything.
Exactly.
So there's opportunities, and that's really what this show is about. Is like, well, you could have just sat on your money and sat in savings and sat on it, but we saw this opportunity, and we both, and I wouldn't say we're seasoned stock investors, but we both picked up some stock, and we did really well, and we're doing really well. Today was an amazing day. So what are the things outside of just your day-to-day operations that you can see?
Well, even you, to kind of speak to what you mentioned, the fact that you have a fitness business, it's closed, you're handcuffed. How about the fact of not just investing in Zoom, but how about creating Zoom workouts for your facility? Wow. That is opportunity in chaos. That is making a decision and taking action in a way that creates wealth and creates income or sustains some of it.
And the reason you bring that up is because there were some gyms that never.
There's so many of them. I mean, literally this week, it's what's the date? This is out. It's June 4th or 5th today, right?
Yeah.
The pandemic's 3 months in.
And they still haven't pulled the trigger.
We're literally getting conversations in our group about people starting Zoom workouts. Guys, you're 3 months deep.
Yeah, well,
like,
we've hit that nail several times on the show.
But again, opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Nobody's here to save you. Nobody's coming along to say, hey, here's the roadmap to saving your business while the government tells you can't operate.
Yep.
No, you have to get creative, and when an opportunity presents itself, it's taking action.
There you go.
And that's I think a lot of it is the swiftness. Make a decision, act swiftly,
Yep.
and sometimes you're wrong.
Yep,
and absolutely, it's risk. There's always risk, but you're not going to get the results. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Thanks, Wayne. Yeah. But you have to take that shot, and you have to decide to do something when you can't do, when everyone else is telling you can't do anything.
Right. So another opportunity that it's kind of out there now, but you're going to start seeing this happen real quick, is real estate.
Yep.
So a lot of businesses are going to be closing. A lot of developments in real estate and shopping centers are going to go under, go back to the bank, they're going to go up for sale. If, this is where my focus is right now, is real estate, is like, why not own the building you're in?
Yep.
It makes so much sense. If you think about all the rent you've been paying over how many years you've been in business, you could have owned the building. You know what I mean? And that's where my focus is. That's a big project that I've got on the table. We've got meetings every single day with Architect City. We're looking at buying land and building a shopping center, but putting Pulse in there and leasing out the other spaces and putting this thing out there. And it's a huge risk,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at the opportunity right now, and there's deals. And even as we get into 2021, there's going to be even more deals. I feel like this is going to have a little bit of a lag,
Yeah.
where people are kind of hanging on right now, and when they come out of this and your state opens up, and those businesses may still not make it, and then those go under, and then what happens? And if you're not quite ready to buy, okay, that's kind of a big thing, millions and millions of dollars. But think about that rental space that you can renegotiate on, or go and do a second location in a great location for really, really low, because that landlord doesn't have anybody else to put in there.
How about the conversation we had with Casey and Jerry about the opportunity that they're in? You're right. They've got multiple locations,
Yep.
and now they're in, again, opportunity and chaos. They're looking to help other business owners that aren't able to sustain and do as well by coming on board and partnering with them, putting on a new jersey, and still creating a business, under a different brand, but elevating their brand at the same time. They could sit by and say, you know what, we're good at where we're at, but
They're
no,
looking,
exactly.
and they're seeing what's happening out there, and they're not sitting around. And that's the kick. That's the cool thing about these folks in the Iron Circle is they're
Action.
bigger thinkers. Speaking of Iron Circle, we've got another guy, Evan. Evan's out
Yeah.
there building another app. He's doing a different version of a Mind Body app that's actually pretty amazing. Pulse is coming on board with that, and we're going to be using that app. And and we'll bring him on a show. Maybe we'll have him talk about the app or whatever. But he's another guy who's in the Iron Circle that's not sitting around, and he's closed still, and he doesn't know when.
Yeah,
It's indefinite in
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
God.
It's indefinite. Like, how do you live like that? So he's going all in on the app, and he's building it. I mean, it's an amazing app, and he's super smart guy. There's another opportunity.
Yeah. What else were we talking about? There's just so many different ways. I mean, it doesn't have to be the normal day-to-day routine. Like, this is the outside of the box opportunity. And if you're not willing to look outside of the box, then you're stuck playing the game that other people have,
Yep.
the cards that they're dealing for you.
Well, I mean, just going back to our story, ProFit wasn't really ever a plan.
No.
It was an opportunity that we said, okay, this needs to be a thing. It was presented, and we ran with it.
Yeah.
The Gym Shirt Club, even though we since shut that down, that was another opportunity. We said, look, we have all these gym owners. We've got, e-commerce kind of experience, digital marketing experience. We created Gym Shirt Club, and we ran that for 2 years, and that was fun. I mean, it was more of a hobby, but if we would have put more time into that thing, that probably would have been a third stream of income.
Absolutely.
Which would have been great. So these are all things that you can do that are bigger than just your gym.
Yeah, and I think that across the board, it takes a certain individual, it takes a certain skill set, it takes a certain ability to really realize certain things. And I think that if you have to look, I say it all the time, growth or decay. And that lens that you're looking at life with, if you have no growth, if you're not working towards progression, if you're not actually impressing your will upon your environment and your situation, then other things are happening to you.
Yeah.
Instead of you doing things, to move your needle forward.
Sure.
We've all heard the me economy versus the economy, right? How many people and businesses progress at the worst times?
Yeah.
Let's say you were the real estate investor. 2009 was probably a beautiful year for you. 2008 was like the end of the world as we knew it, right?
Yep.
But look at those that I don't want to say take advantage of, because it's not like, again, it's the opportunist, but you take advantage of a situation, not
isn't negative.
I completely agree.
Just like the word selfish is not negative. Being selfish is just saying that I'm worried about me. That doesn't mean it's negative.
Well, I think that we live in a time where it's really interesting, right? It's the haves and the have-nots. It's the belief of scarcity rather than abundance. And I can tell you, like, if you sign up for that kind of ideology, it's a trap. And successful people don't care about the limits set by other people. And they're going to like I said, they're going to impress their will upon their situation. They don't walk into a room and go, okay, what's going to happen to me? They walk into a room and this is what I'm going to do for this room.
Sure.
And so, there's opportunity everywhere. We talked about joining different masterminds and elevating. Like maybe it's time you get outside of the fitness industry and have a conversation with other
really
business
good idea.
owners. And
you just pull so much good info like I've been looking at this one right here, Joe Polish,
Joe's,
for
yeah.
a while. It just something's not quite right for me yet,
Mhm.
but we'll see. We'll see.
And we've always valued, that,
Mm-hmm.
between the two of us. I mean, we've always understood that we're not the idea of being the smartest man in the room is horrible, right? We want to be around those
another
people that are going
trap.
to exactly. We want to be around those that elevate you, and so. Yeah, I think it's a perfect time to look at different opportunities and different groups and different business. Just go out and create conversation. Talk to other businesses outside of the industry and see what they're doing to get by, to make changes.
Well, going back to the Jerry and Casey episode, which was last episode.
Yep.
I don't think it hit home hard enough for the listeners. It was they have a business model that they find a rock star within their organization and they put them as an owner, a part owner at their own location, and that's what is really appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking to get out of that self-employed role and go into this business owner role, you've got your, assuming you've got a successful location, at least one, you can do this and provide for growth for yourself, but also for this new individual that's going to be a part owner. And they don't just get ownership day one. It's a buy-in.
Yep.
We didn't get into all that. There's a buy-in, and then there's like a vesting period where they, 10%, 20%, 30%. I think they cap at 30 or 40%. But as the owner of the whole company, you've got 5 locations with 5, little owners that are operating and taking care of that operation for them. That's makes perfect sense.
Invested interest is very hard to instill in an employee.
Yeah.
Without some skin. It's skin in the game, right? And now they go home at night and they go, okay, I want to compete tomorrow because I have something to win or lose in this. And that model, I think, is in any business. I mean, I think it's a beautiful opportunity, and I think that there's an opportunity for them to progress rapidly in a way that isn't as much risk as traditional, hey, let me open a new facility, let me put a fitness director in there. 6 months down the road, they're gone. They took half the clientele with them. That we've seen this a million times.
It's happened to me.
This keeps people on your bus as opposed to creating that driving that wedge over time.
We should have an episode of all in the last 10 years of the craziest stuff that's happened in business.
Oh, we should throw that out there to the group and see. Well, here, but
I've got my own stories. I've got plenty of crazy stories that's happened. Stuff that, like, I've talked to other business owners that are in the business same length. They're like, how's this happened to you 3 times? 4 now? It's never happened to me once. And I'm not talking about coaches leaving. That happens to
everyone, yeah.
I'm talking about other stuff. Like wild stuff. We'll do an
We'll
episode.
have to
That'll
get
be a fun one.
some whiskey rolling.
That'll be a good show. The point of this episode, y'all, is to take the opportunities that are presented in front of you, and they're not always going to just be there. You got to go look around and think. Again, think. A lot of the business owners that we talk to want stuff handed to them. What's the play? What's the words that I put in the ad? And what's
the silver bullet thought. Like,
you got to think, and the owners that think, and even the trainers that are listening to this, the ones that think, you can find opportunities in every economy, up or down, turmoil. And like, I know that there's some stats out there of the companies that came out of the recession, the Great Recession, and they're amazing companies that you're like, oh, they started during that period, and because of why, like, it's some pretty cool stories. I wish I had that stuff.
I think Ford is like one of the ones that like exploded after that.
I'm
or
talking
something.
even like more recent.
Oh, I get through this
some
stuff.
Recent companies and stuff. Yeah. So there's stuff. And I should probably bring my buddy Brian onto the show. Talking about it. He's a real estate guy.
Yeah.
He's a real estate guy, and what I mean by real estate guy, he's a broker, but he's also an investor. And there's some really cool things in using Casey and Jerry's model to go and purchase real estate and put your location in there, increase the value of the property, flip the properties. It's pretty cool. You do have to find the right opportunities, but that's why I'm saying this now, because late in this year and probably more into next year, you're going to see shopping centers and complexes and locations and buildings going up for sale because people can't swing it.
And that's a good point. If you're in a position right now where your business is sustained, maybe you got some funding through the IDL and things like that, and you know that your fitness business is going to be okay, it's going to get worse for some businesses. And we barely touched on this yet, right? When all of your expenses and everything come back full steam, if you don't have the clientele, if you don't have the business to sustain the expenses during a normal time, we're going to see more closures and things like that take place. So if you are a gym owner, or if you're an investor, if you have capital and you have the opportunity to look into businesses, I don't want to say bail them out necessarily, but partner with somebody
Or purchase it.
or buy it outright, right? Like if you have that ability, these opportunities are going to present themselves in the next few months here.
Here's another opportunity. Maybe you are thinking about a second location, but it's not today. What about buying equipment from these gyms that are going under? I see fire sales all the time. Like, oh, if I just would have bought the equipment 6 months ago, buy it, put it in storage, put it in your garage, pick it up on pennies on the dollar, because eventually you're going to need it. So, take the opportunity to go do that. You can pick up equipment right now.
I'm talking to a gym owner right now who just bought his gym,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought it in March, and didn't see this. Nobody saw this coming. But at what he was able to acquire that gym for was under 1/4 of their initial asking price.
And that was before the.
It was like, it was before the actual, everything went to fire.
So how did he get it for such a great deal?
Just because of the direction things were going, he threw out an offer and they accepted it.
Okay.
And the beauty of it was, he knew that where the situation that was in was dire. Gym owner wanted to get out, that type of thing. So he did, but all he did was lob out an offer. And
Well, the funny thing is, for the GPS name your price offer, we got some high offers and we got some low offers.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
there was a few that I turned down, but most everybody was right in line with
Yeah.
what we, but the people that offered higher, they paid higher, and the ones that offered lower, if it was, assuming it wasn't like $500,
Yeah.
like some people try to pull, that wasn't going to fly. But like, a couple grand, that was cool. We did it for a couple grand for some people. Some people paid, $3,000.
absolutely.
Several people paid $3,000. But, it's just the opportunity they took. So anyways,
That's what it was. That's what it is, though. You took it. Somebody
Yeah.
took it. It wasn't an opportunity that you saw. Like, how many times have we kicked our own asses just like, damn, I wish I did that then?
Zoom.
Yeah, we talked about that one. That's a big one. But that hindsight's always 20/20. You always kick yourself in the ass when you didn't take action. But I think the majority of people, they weigh the risk, and then that's the seat that they find
Or
themselves
they
in.
wait.
They wait,
Just
and exactly, right?
Yeah.
Even and the stocks are another situation where you don't always, if you're down, or if they're down, and it's the opportunity, and you feel the value of buying now. Sometimes it's worth just buying now, because the next thing you know, one day later, that upswing has already started, and now you're out of pocket that much more just to get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And ride out. Again, it's not a definitive answer.
Yeah, but sometimes you buy and then it goes down for 3 more days, and you're like, okay, but then it comes back. So it's just
It's risk mitigation.
It's all riskies, but I think this is an eye opener for some people. You can obviously, we've been talking about looking at your business and having the time and doing all that stuff. I think you should have been doing that already.
Yeah.
But now look for those businesses that are going under, buying their equipment, maybe change your model to this owner-operators, co-op style gym. I love that idea. I love it. Real estate, doing other businesses like the app, like Evan's doing.
And that's tandem. That doesn't take away, like that adds value to his business along with the business owners that he's working with.
Yeah.
Right? We decided here at Pulse, like that is absolutely something that we want to put into our business. So
nice. But whatever you do not become a Facebook ads agency.
Oh God.
Just don't do it. Just don't.
For $97, you could be an agent.
Yeah, just don't do that. But other than that, guys, it's just an eye opener today. We were talking about. I'm like, man, I think these guys need to hear this.
It's a natural progression of everything we talk about, right? Because it's not just about helping a gym owner move into that self-employed role, because after that is the investor role.
Yep.
And if you're not looking at the other, like the natural upswing of levels of ownership in life, then you're just settling, you know? And I'm 33 years old. I don't own a gym. I don't necessarily have a desire to own a gym, but I do want to own businesses, and I want to be able to progress through the levels of ownership in those businesses and so forth. But I'm never going to look at the situation and go, oh, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, and you can be in different quadrants all at the same time.
Absolutely,
you could be an investor while you're an employee.
We're talking about that for you.
Yeah. I'm in 3 right now. I've got the business, the self-employed, which is this, business owner, which is Pulse, and investor, which is the investments we're doing, and then even another business coming up. So well, I'm going to take you guys on this journey. Once we get more info, once they accept the offer we've made, I'm going to take you guys down this fun journey. I'll probably do a lot of videos with it, and you know, this is something anybody can do, as long as you got the cajones. You gotta have some big cajones. But and I've shared this plan with some of like Rick and some guys and Evan in the
Obviously Inner Circle,
and got some people thinking. And that, you know, somebody's got to take the risk first. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it goes, guys. But eye opener for everybody today. Look around you. There's opportunities around. Stock is the really easiest one, but the other things we talked about with the real estate, as well as these other gyms closing and doing side businesses and thinking about your business as a whole and what you can do to change that. It's all the opportunity, and it's the action takers that are the ones that are going to come out of this ahead. And that's what we're looking to help you do, is to get you ahead, not just to give you stupid information to make ourselves think that we're smart. It's to get you guys ahead.
And I think in tandem with that, right? I don't care. You could have the greatest insight into something, right? Somebody could give you inside trade secrets or something, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you need to take ownership. You need to take accountability for your situation, and then understand that you, as the owner of the business, need to make those decisions and take action.
That's right. Awesome. We'll end on that. Till next episode, guys. Keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show.